Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Sons and Daughters of Liberty. Just give me a second to get things all set up here. For those that are waiting, my apologies. I was talking to someone. And learning a few things. Which, I kind of got into some of that last night as well. That this idea of bringing people together, in theory, great idea. In actuality, is it going to make a difference? I'd like to think we can make a difference. But I also realized with what person I was talking to, he is very right on that aspect. It's a rigged system. And it's, goes a lot more deeper than just the AI system, as we found out last night, a couple of things. And by the way, I did look into that. I finally found where the settings were. Come to find out now, when you guys, this is some information back, I'll just show you. First I'll go to the community settings, because that's where the information was that I couldn't find last night, was blocked words, which I have none, it's turned off. Blocked links are off, so actually anybody can put links into my, supposedly can put links into my comments or in my chat. But that's where this section is, in the community, under community settings. What I did find out though, when, say, go to live stream real quick. Oh, I'm going to have to go. Still got to get a new mouse. When we create an event, we'll just create a new event real quick. Go into advanced settings. Now make sure you guys, you go into advanced settings and uncheck mark automatically block spam messages. Every time you create an event, you got to do this, or else we'll catch the issues that we caught last night while we were streaming in chat, where somebody wants to type something and it makes it look like the person's censoring comments or censoring chat. Like I said, that was the first time I've ever caught that happen. And I'm like thinking, well, shit, I got that turned off. I don't got no blocked words, or I allow links in my thing. Well, come to find out, another little thing I didn't know was got to uncheck mark that. Yeah, we got free TV. Yeah, I understand that. And as you can see, I've reached out to some of those channels, and like I've reached out to a few other people between last night and today, and only one person's messaged me back willing to talk about it. So it does bring into question, are those other channels just out for the looking out for their friends and stuff, which goes into some of the stuff we discussed last night. As I talked to a few people today in the gaming community that do YouTube channels. They're not on, most of them aren't on board for this either, because they don't get censored most of the time. They still monetize. it goes back to how we were weighing out some of the pros and cons of things. You know, it goes back out to what I was saying, you know. If we do something like this, we all got to be on board. Because then they'll say, well, we got this group of people that's part of the community. They have no problem. They don't get censored. And they would use them as an example. Yeah. Plus, you know, like I said, I follow a lot of channels. I don't agree with it. Sometimes I don't agree with a lot of things they said. There's a couple in particular. I don't agree with anything they say most of the time. I still stop in from time to time to watch a show, watch a video, just to see what's going on. It's information, it's knowledge. It's like, and it's also viewing, well, how they come, why do they got that ideology or those ideas? Like I said, I'm not most people. But then again, I also will look at it. That's the very truth. I've said that for a while. I've said that since I started this channel. When you monetize your content, you're giving up your freedom of speech. Because you got somebody dictating what you can and cannot say. I learned that on my other channel, Drew Lima, where 4 of my videos instantly got demonetized. Did the little appeal thing, and I got approved. 2 weeks later, they were demonetized again. Why? Because I was talking about how fake Wikipedia is. You know, how they don't even honor their mission statements. Yeah, it's TV all over again, right? Well, we know YouTube TV or Red TV, whatever they're calling it, it's coming. We all know that. Eventually, this platform yeah, you know, they did videos on this very same thing, telling people, message us, come to us. We're gonna take a stand. RSB. Supposedly he's got a lawyer. And I encourage anybody, reach out to him, see what happens. I've reached out. I'm still waiting. You know? But I also seen another video that one of them posted where they were talking about, you know, the high number rate. They never mentioned the little guy. And as I've shown, sometimes the little guys are the one that's sliding through under the radar. You know? And I stated last time, I'm not doing this for the subs, because I know some people are going to think, oh, you're just doing it for subscribers. No, if I could turn the subscriber button off, I would. It's his second channel, supposedly. I'm pretty sure his other channel is down. I know Enterthe5t4rz Reloaded, his main channel is, he can't live stream, it's up. And I'm pretty sure on Richie from Boston, his main channel is the same thing. It was terminated. Then he's the one that got the email. He's the one that got the email that said your termination was an error. And right up, as he got done reading that email, he had 4 or 5 other emails with community strikes on that channel. So he can't live stream on that. Not that I know of. I haven't gotten no notifications from that channel. I've got it from the RichiefromBoston II and Overland, whatever his other channel is. But I haven't got the main one, but maybe it's some further research I might need to do. I think a lot of people do that. I mean, we all know the AJ guy, he does it all the time. He's living off the fear porn. But it's a tool and they use it. I don't try not to use it. You know, I try not to use clickbait. You know, shit, I don't even like truthfully, I don't even like the title I've got this titled right now because it's not the message I want. But I know if I put what I really want, because that's how the algorithms and the AI on this platform work, it's an instant flag. You know, and for real, I mean, I catch these guys all the time. They complain about stuff. Oh man, is he? I mean, I can take him in small doses, which up until a couple weeks ago, I hadn't listened to him in almost a year. But there was something on the vaccines that he had on, and he wasn't on. And a lot of times, I can deal with the other ones over him. But he was talking about they had a guy on talking about the vaccines and how the court system works on it. You know, I've got friends that had people deal with that. and I've witnessed it. I've witnessed my best friend's little daughter was talking, eating everything, goes in to gets her vaccination. No longer talking, barely eating. And it was an interesting video. I learned some things I did not know. There's some things I even deal with that particular show. You know, there's things I know. I know something about one of his reporters. Why? Because one certain community helped that person get onto that show. And I've watched over a period of time how certain things, certain lightings and stuff changed. Certain phrases were starting to be used. You know, some of the very same things that he bashes all the time. His favorite thing to bash around October. Same tools he's using. We are free TV. I see your point. And then sometimes I associate it just so I can point things out. Observe, watch. And sometimes, let's keep it all the way for real. A couple of certain channels, I'm not going to name names. I know you watch this show, some of my stuff. Why? 2 days later, 3 days later, I catch you doing a live stream talking about some of the very same things I was talking about, changing some of your phrases, using the same words I've used. I'm not the only one that's caught it. Keep doing it. I don't have a large audience. You do. And obviously you're listening. You don't think I don't pay attention? And, you know, that's some of the point. We do got to pay attention to these things. I mean, this whole idea of standing up, no, okay. Let's find the ways we can still get around it and still talk about doing our content. I'm all for that. I mean, I do it all the time here. Soon, when I find something I've noticed, I share it with you guys. Because I'm also a firm believer, no, I don't care about numbers. I don't care about subscribers or likes. I've already explained that one. Go ahead, hit the dislike button. That means I triggered you. That means I did my job. I made you question something. people will find my channels when they're supposed to, when they're drawn to it. A lot of my life I go off by feeling. And I do feel that if we could seize on an opportunity like what they were talking about, maybe we can make a few changes, make a little different. Maybe we can find certain ways that you guys can slide through the cracks. I'm still waiting to hear back from my friend Chris. You know, he's pretty good on the AI technology stuff. Oh no, they don't. I'm evil in their eyes. I'm evil in their eyes because of my religious beliefs. All because of bad apples that they just want to put everybody in the same category. I know this. I try to keep my religious beliefs and ideologies not on this channel. I've got a channel for that. But there's things on that channel that I wish I could find ways to bring over here because it's important. It's important to be able to tell you guys how these bad apples have used these tools and give them to you. Or like I was breaking down the other day, how they use images. You guys, every time you see an image, you might not know it, but when you see it, look at it, you like it, it triggers an emotion, you're charging that image. You don't know what the intent of the person that created that image was for. You know, but I do use this platform to point those things out. How that all this division we see it, it's everywhere in this community. You know, we got truthers turning on truthers. We got religions on the platform turning on religions, bashing them constantly. Like I said, in theory, all of us uniting and coming together, in theory, sounds good. Will it ever work? No, because nobody can put their differences aside. No, actually, I haven't. I didn't even know there was a book, handbook. That might be an interesting topic for a show. You know, it's just like I said last night, where'd the word shill come from? Who started using it? Words are powerful, and they know it. Advertisers know it, businessmen know it. You know, I say, you know, knowing how to use words, how to empower them, intone them. Yep, that makes me evil in a bunch of circles. But by knowing this, I can protect myself. I know when not to give a word power. When I feel it trigger energy come off it when it's spoken. I mean, just like I've pointed out. Yeah. I mean, and it's all these little things that you guys are bringing up in chat. Is the very same things that you go after the system, they're going to use it to continue to pit us against each other. Well, they're going to say these guys are reporting the truth because they're, you know, standing by the mainstream. They're quoting this as, oh, it's fact. So that makes the real truthers liars. You know, and just like I said, I read their mission statement. Their mission statement's still up today. If you're censoring, that means you might as well just take that mission statement down because you're taking away our freedom of expression. I support a lot of channels. I mean, I was there for a while trying to find new channels every month and add them to my channel page, change them every month. Now I'm trying to do a little bit something different. picking the channels that lost their main channels, or their main channels are temporarily not suspended, but they can't live stream. You know, I try to find new channels. This is like Rufus Cat. I just stumbled across him because of Pam like 3 weeks ago. Whenever I first come back from the break I took, and I was, like I said, I was enjoying it. It was like last Friday. Before they started live streaming, I was watching, I think, the previous week's stream on his main channel. Or it was one of the last ones he had on his main channel. I'm not sure the exact date. Man, I was really getting into it. I was learning something. So I hit pause and I started watching the main, Friday night show. Yeah, when people strike channels, they are. Yeah, I'm new to this. In some ways, I am new to this. I've got other than the gaming community on Twitch, I was still fairly new. And like I said, I've done many things. I try to take experiences I've learned from other platforms and stuff. It's just like, I got a laugh today. It was on Twitter. It's one of those probably other channels. But I do like what he talks about. Him, I like. And he had posted how Google AdSense told him he had to remove a post on his website because they were against the ads that were showing it was misrepresenting their ads. I've been saying that for a while. I've said it here. I've said it on KOTR. I said it on Drew Lima, on videos I've did over there. Before I decide we're going to use this as a backup for now. Why? Because I experienced that stuff in 2009. On Ning social platforms, on websites we created on Ning. There for a little while, you didn't have a choice on AdSense. It was part of the platform. Eventually, we figured out how to write code in our CSS scripts to get rid of the AdSense. Well, then they cracked down on that. And they would go after Ning because we had content that they didn't agree with. It's nothing new. It's the same stuff over and over. From each new platform, it's still controlled by other sources. Experience it on GoDaddy. I've experienced it on Bluehost. Although Bluehost is fairly good, but doesn't really matter because you still deal with search engines. Who has the biggest search engine? Google. They control what content gets seen and what doesn't. They'll completely ignore your meta tags. Yes, for a while we was able to play with our meta tags and get around certain things. Knowing words, having a thesaurus handy sometimes to know different meanings to convey the message that your content's showing works. Used to work here on YouTube. Doesn't work anymore. Now, the best thing you can do for your meta tags is leave it blank. But when you do that, it doesn't get picked up in the search engines. I think I got mine down to like 4. Basically, 4 or 5. Basically, what this channel is supposed to be about. In their eyes. Does it get me to trend? No, I've only had one thing ever trend. It was the Supreme Court's ruling on the travel ban, I believe. I was the first one on YouTube to go live, and I got started getting all the hits, people entering the live stream. It's like, what's going on here? I never had nothing trend. It didn't trend much, like 30. I think it topped out at 30 some views while I was live streaming, and it slowly started dropping as other channels picked it up. Because, you know, I was pointing certain things out, pointing out the rhetoric, how they use certain terms, how one group was using this term over the other. You know, how one group wouldn't say illegal immigration. They would say immigrant. Or illegal immigrant. They'd say immigrant. So therefore, yes, they are right. Immigrant has some laws and protections where illegal don't. I think we founded one gatekeeper's like, but in a sense, you know, what is a gatekeeper? There's another play on words. What is a gatekeeper? Are we not gatekeepers ourselves? The only difference is we open the gates to allow people access to the knowledge, the wisdoms, the teachings. You know, they've taken the word and term of gatekeeper and they've misconstrued it to mean something. In their eyes, they say it's positive. We need them. I mean, but in a sense, we also see certain groups. And it's always made me wonder. I've always questioned. You know, sometimes, this is why I like playing devil's advocate a lot. You are very right. Fear does keep us from exposing who needs to be. Because I've stated it, I think I've stated it on this channel. In fact, I know I have on certain things. A lot of the people we see and we think we know, you know, and we think they're the ones, or, you know, let's use, what's that thing, Bilderberg, the Bilderberg group, how they meet every day. You think those are the real people making the decisions? No, they're just the faces, the pawns. And see, I question that too. I question it sometimes because I've subscribed to some people. Because I'm usually when I subscribe to somebody, I check the watch box. Go a week and not get no notifications, but go back and see that I'm unsubscribed. Or the watch box became unchecked. Yep, they're just puppets. They're made to be shown to us, so we got somebody to put a face to, somebody to blame for everything. You know, it's just like all this is secret society. It's like Freemason, Illuminati. Not all of them are bad. Not all of them had the ideologies that we know them as today either. All these groups have been infiltrated and slowly taken over. Just like we look at the AltRight movement. It started out, it had potential, it had some good ideologies, good philosophy. Then slowly we see people creep in. I'm not going to name names, I have in previous broadcasts. And all of a sudden, it's became a completely whole other monster. I mean, I don't know how any of you guys watched The Prepared Mind. He's open about what he is. He's a Mason. Does that make him bad, evil? No, because he spoke out about everything that we speak out about. And that's what people don't get. No matter what your religious beliefs are, no matter what your ideologies and views, there's people out there that defend everybody else, that wants the same thing that most of us that call ourselves awake and open want. But it's the bad apples that get put in these groups that manipulate, twist, change the identity of these groups, and do something bad, and the whole kit and caboodle gets blamed for just that one person. And that's the problem I foresaw with, and as you can, we can question the integrity of it too. But that's the problem I already had foreseen. How can you bring all these people together? We're taught to we're taught to divide ourselves. We're taught these things. Exactly. Like for me, the feminist movement. This year we watched a man punch a woman in a feminist movement. These women surrounded that man and protect him. They wouldn't have done that in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. That man would have been screaming like a girl for the cops to save his ass. That's how these movements get changed. They slowly get infiltrated. And that voice slowly changes and becomes something else. Then the younger generation comes around. Now they're seeing the new movement, not the old movement. But hey, that's conspiracy theory, I guess. That's not something I've sat, watched it play out in front of my eyes on TV or a stream. Yeah, that is part of the problem. We do disagree. I mean, I've also pointed out disagreeing is not wrong. If you can talk about it, still finding common ground to share your ideas and learn from each other and learn why you disagree. But they teach us to always disagree, just like they teach us not to question anything. When you should be questioning everything. You should question everything I say. Because do I have all the answers? No. Am I right all the time? No. Exactly. And was the internet like this back when it first started? No. It was also an evolution of period of time, slowly. It was also a monster that I actually think that they underestimated. And now they're trying to control it. But that's my views and opinions on that little scenario. Because it could be something, they could have planned it that way from the beginning. I don't know. I would like to see more people come together. So if these guys that first started, so they don't, I'll keep on going. Not that many. I've I come to find the things I never liked or had thought I'd ever have a passion for is some of the things been doing. You know, like I hated writing, but I published my own magazine. You know, I was never big into computers or technology, but I ended up learning code and learning how to create websites and platforms. I've self-taught myself. And you know what tool I use? Right here in front of me, the computer, YouTube, people's websites. How do we come together? Well, first we start going after like-minded people. People that are open to other ideologies, views, and aren't going to sit there and judge other people. I mean, sometimes, you know, as much as we might not agree with probably a couple of links I have in my description, if I didn't observe or didn't watch those things, okay, good looking out. You're going to go out, do your thing. I'm going to go do mine now. I'm going to go find like-minded people. We're going to sit here and talk about these things. Then hopefully some people will see what we're doing, and they'll start doing it. Start causing a small chain reaction. You know, other community, different, whatever you want to call them in this community, different groups that don't share ideals, they'll start doing it. A small chain reaction causes a big chain reaction. Just much like, you know, I have my own theories on Trump, you know, because I got to be devil's advocate there. Hillary had no chance. Everybody knows it. Trump was the perfect, you know, perfect candidate. We believe in these global elites. Trump was their man. He's going to cause so much chaos, so much division, so much turmoil, and we watched it unfold. But I like to believe they underestimated him. I mean, chaos can be a very mischievous thing, because he was the monkey wrench that just broke all the rules. He was the perfect psyop. I mean, whether it was his own doing, I know a little bit more into some of his other background, so he knows what he's doing, believe me. He knows how to word things, manipulate things better than most. And he's just been the monkey wrench that screwed at it, but he's also what showed how dangerous the internet is. Oh, so was I. The body count on that one's ridiculous. But that's conspiracy theory. You know, I just find it funny that anybody that's tried to investigate anything on that note mysteriously dies, whether it be from working out and have the bar fall on their throat, crush their throat, or out surfing. I mean, I don't get it. I can't connect the dots there. I don't know. I mean, let's look at what Trump caused, though. He showed the internet for what it was, the most powerful tool out there. He didn't spend hardly any, I mean, he spent money, but he didn't spend money. He used social media. He used Twitter. He played Twitter like a fool. Yeah, people who still trust politicians. Yeah, no. I mean, but even look at the politicians now. I mean, I've never seen politicians show their true color like they have. I haven't seen Congress show how. I mean, swamp, it's not a swamp anymore. It's a cesspool. I mean, look at them. I mean, sometimes, I mean, if that was Trump's idea, draining the swamp, kudos. That was some master thinking and master chess play. I mean, you can watch how he tweets. Every time he says something, they're all over it. Yes, he was. And they looked at that and said, and realized, oh, it's a good thing. Everybody's going to believe everything he says, until up along came Trump and truly used the internet. He used the internet to reach more people than anybody ever thought could be done. He showed a system that had a flaw and that was very dangerous to people. But then again, we could also say, well, maybe that's what was supposed to happen. Because look, now we got all this censorship going on. We got all this division. I mean, let's look at the truther community. There for a while, the truther community was strong, united. Now, they're at each other's throats. You know, I'd like to find a way for us to come together. World Wide Web, yep. And I mean, technology these days is getting dangerous. I mean, dangerous. I actually, before I got in a chat with somebody, I actually checked out Lord Southern's last video. I know some people don't agree with stuff she says either. But this one, on the way she did it, talking about tech, I get it, props. She's dead on. Eventually, you could be locked out of your own house. Yeah. You know, that's the problem. People forgot to have open minds. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of things, many of the people I follow, I can't stand or agree with. And sometimes they open a door that I didn't see. They come up on something unique. If people could start seeing that, we could use that to start coming together. But in reality, I mean, I got to be a realist. No one's reached out to me. I've sent emails. But one person. And he was being very real about his views on things. And I agree with what he said. Can we make a difference and change? Probably not. But we got to try. We got to draw the line somewhere. I wouldn't dislike that idea either. I mean, truth is, back when cell phones first came out, I never owned one. In fact, you guys might be shocked to learn my first cell phone that I bought was 2 years ago. Never owned one. I bought it because I actually had a need for it because I was living in North Carolina and working. So now my family is up in Ohio. You know, car breaks down, which it did. If I didn't have a cell phone, I would have been screwed. I was on my way back to Ohio. You know, I like some of the old tech. CBs, ham radios, which still have a use to this day. Because if something would ever happen, EMP, solar flare, or certain organization decides, oh no, enough's enough and shuts it down, we still can communicate. I don't get Bitcoin. I mean, we all know that eventually something like that's going to happen. It's not going to be Bitcoin. I know that much. But nobody questions who created Bitcoin. Well, I've heard, well, he's some anonymous guy over here. Who created it? I mean, look at it. Look how they play with the markets. And then people don't realize, especially the people here in the U.S. Netcoin, I mean, yeah, you can create your own currency. I was watching about that. It's like, what? I mean, I'm cool. But I was watching a stream. I think it was Anarchist TV or some shit. I don't know what it was. Can't remember the name. But he had one of the designers of Steemit, the main designers. Well, they was talking about the blockchain stuff. But he brought up a good point. Nobody here in the United States can actually make any real money off Bitcoin because they got to buy secondhand through an investor overseas. They can't actually buy the coin. They can't actually, because of FCC and stuff like that. Carrots is currency. I mean, actually, you are currency. You have skills. You have value. You know? You actually have more value than currency. And that's where my friend Chris, when he starts talking about that AI technology stuff, he'll make it sound like a perfect utopia that will just downright scare you. And if you look at it, like spot on AG at AU, yeah? And that's where he'll downright scare you, because if you start looking back from generation to generation of the last few generations, they're starting to get more programmed to be not in the workplace, to allow other things. I mean, come on. Seriously. Are we going to let somebody use a cell phone, run it over our lock, walk into our house, and put our package in our door, coming inside our house? Growing food is a currency, yes. I mean, the internet is a currency. It's a currency of information. You know, just like I heard somebody talk about the AT&T and Time Warner deal. You know, they was talking about the lessers of two evils. The truth is, he made a valid point. Maybe we should just let them merge. That way, it brings competition to Google. You know, that's not the answer. Because that's just creating two evils. Two monopolies. I mean, the real answer is turning it over to the people. Information is the most valuable currency ever. Whether it be technology, philosophy, teaching, ideas, beliefs, history, it's the most important information, especially in this age where people have forgotten their history. Yeah, knowing wild food is a very important currency. Like what mushrooms to eat and not to eat, what berries to eat and not to eat. But I'll tell you what else is a currency: disinformation. Because it's used to manipulate. It's used to change people's ideas, make them believe in an illusion instead of a reality. Yep. You know, history is our biggest teacher. For those that can stomach it, especially when it counters people's ideologies and views. I'm all for the free legalization of that. But I'm against the hardcore stuff. Always have been. That's why I'm iffy on. Always been iffy on CBDs, because you don't really know what's been put into it. You know what it says is in it, but I mean, I've gotten a few, and it's like, talk about aches and pains all go away. It's like, man, that's the perfect medicine. But like with all things, how long before it gets federalized and they start putting other substances into it? And, you know, some of the best things are what, you know, I hate to say, but the things that we, the people, create, that we don't put high value on. Yeah. I mean, there's so many things out there. And, you know, the sad part is these are the very things that they use to divide us with as well. You know, I don't have all the answers. You know, just like, how can we make a stand? How can we let our voice? Because we all know, especially my generation really never did any protesting, for the most part. But I did get to grow up with the other older generations that did. And they would even admit, you know, what does protest do? Not much, really. You know, it's another one of those things. Yeah, in theory, it sounds good. In theory, it might work. But in all actuality, has it really changed anything? Do the politicians ever listen? No. They have their agenda. They're not changing their agenda. But I've seen sometimes where it does bring light to a situation. Not so much this day of age, but back then, it would bring awareness to certain things. But how much actually changed? I mean, history shows us. You listen to people that took part in those things, their opinions and views on it. No, not much has changed. They just changed the name of things. Give it a new name. Still same old problems. You know, in a sense, you know, the video I was planning on doing this week, everybody's looking for that knight in white shining armor, which I probably, now that I'm thinking, I probably shouldn't title it that way because, oh, I'm talking about racism. No, I'm not. But everybody looks for that knight in white and shining armor, and they play on that. We'll put this person that caused all this division, we'll blame it all on him, and they're going to come up with a knight in white and shiny armor that'll come in and try to save us all from this big bad monster. We all know that's fantasy. Exactly. Each and every one of you that listen to this, you're your own knight in white shining armor. You're the real heroes. You're the ones that go out there, bust your asses off to put food on the table, pay high-end, outrageous bills, barely have enough to pay the bills and put food on the table. Heaven forbid somebody gets sick. You're the real heroes. You're the real knights in white and shining armor. Exactly. And on those principles, could we make a stand and make a difference? Yes. Whether it be getting other people to mirror what we're doing. They don't agree with us, so they're not even going to have nothing to do with us. Good. You know, sometimes it's all about planting the seed and watching it go, which is something occultists understand. They know that. Just plant the seed. Let it go. Don't even think about it because you're not supposed to. In your mindset, you planted that seed and it's done. It's already happened. It might take years for it to come about, but your mindset, it's done. It happened. And those very things people don't understand. They do it to us all the time with the TVs, the internet, the radios, music. They plant seeds. They plant information. They plant certain tones, especially in music, that'll make you react or change your mind state or mood. And they've been doing that for centuries just with music, just with giving knowing how to give powerful speeches by using your voice and toning properly, how to phrase things to lull people into trances. Then, what have they done? These few bad apples, they hand it right to you with no instruction manual. Did it do it again? Yeah, if you can visualize it, it can be successful. You know, sometimes I like to give a little props to Sir Walt Disney. He was a master at subjective images, mesmer effects. Did it censor you again? I mean, I showed you guys the settings. I don't. Okay, guys, now we know. It's that simple. So I sat here beginning of the show and showed you my settings and what needed to be changed. So now we know. Even our chats on here are monitored. You know, it's just like, speaking of which, I'm not actually paying attention. I don't have my Hangouts actually set on top so I can, my audio don't drop out, but I'm pretty sure I've not said any keywords. You know, it's like these very same things. This is what you know, if anything you guys take from this, learn to observe, watch your audience. Watch when you say certain subjects and you start having mic issues on Hangouts or XSplit or whatever software you're using to stream. Start taking notes of those things. Yeah. And that's actually, my goal is just that. getting those that want to talk about it, you know, if it's just about learning from each other, the things we've seen. Because, you know, I didn't catch the censor thing in the YouTube chat until, because, I mean, Pam asked me like a couple weeks ago, do they censor chat? And I'm like, no. Not that I know of. I've never seen it happen. You know, everybody catches things. You know, and we can use those as tools. We can use, okay, we say this happened, so we'll find another word for it that means the same thing. I mean, yes, I know what's going to be said. We're dealing with an AI. You can only do it so much and get around. Eventually, you're going to it's going to learn and evolve. It's designed to do that. Of course, I've also talked about the other drawback to an AI. You know, who's in charge? Can it be possessed? Well, yeah. If you think about it in a certain sense, that it's housed in a body. What is a body? Body is a temple. Okay, our bodies are a temple. It houses our soul, if you believe that, which I actually do. So can an entity possess the AI? Yeah, I know. Well, that's it goes back to what I said last night, though. Doing these, when we do these, because I think some people are going to think, oh, you're just after subscribers. I'm not. And I should have stated this in the beginning. But I don't have nobody on but me tonight. Now, if I bring somebody else on from a bigger channel, I'll start putting it in my description. Do not sub to this channel when we're doing this with other people. Yeah, I'm all for that. I said, you know, my disclaimer covers that. Have at it. If you want to mirror this, mirror it. I don't care. It's meant for information. Just like, I want to show you guys something. I showed you this yesterday. Here's last night's video, which actually got more views than I thought it would here on YouTube, which was a bit shocking. Just like I said, I don't break 20s or anything like that. Don't care. 17 views. This is something I pointed out. Maybe this is a tool we can use to get around some things. Go to the minds. United we must stand. 512 views. That was since I finished the broadcast and put the link up here last night. I mean, math doesn't add up. Maybe we can start using some of this. I mean, you can't live stream here. You got to have a platform to live stream from, but you can bring it over here. I mean, it's some of those things that those are the interesting things that you find. The algorithms don't work to you know, haters are going to come. They're going to find it eventually. It's not about the views. It's about sharing the information, the things we learn. Whether you mirror the channel or you disagree with something, so you show what I said and view your own opinions over it, do commentary over it. I don't have a problem with that. I don't care about numbers. You know, and when we do start out, when I get people that, if anybody ever agrees to come on here and wants to share why they feel they got their channels taken down, want to share the things, no, this place for you to do it. I offer, I'm taking it with the risk. I don't care. It protects your channel. We're going to learn from it because we're going to share ideas. We're going to point out the things that we've seen. We're going to talk about, well, what did you say that you think might have got that thing? We're going to bounce things off each other, you know. Plus, I don't know, nobody probably watched the first video when I came back, the gathering story. I'm thinking about just being me on here for a bit, taking the stuff that I've got on my other channel that I know is important that people need to know how to protect themselves against it, and just screw it. I don't want to run two channels. You know, something I've been weighing for a while, because there is part of me that's into the prepping community. You know, but there's also a part of me that's into other things. Exactly. I'll just make another one. You can't stop me. Well, you can. But you haven't implemented that yet, because Wikipedia stopped me. I am forever barred on this IP address from ever editing or creating my own post on Wikipedia. All because I exposed them. You know? So, but I knew the risk when I did it. I knew that was part of the guidelines, that they will ban your IP. It was like something else. You know, it's not a channel I'm probably going to follow. I mean, I added it to my follow list just because so I could check up on some things. Was researching something, which, you know, I think I stated it the other night that, you know, yeah, it turned out to be BS. But it was good to theorize, talk about the what ifs, you know, because potentially we could see it happen. Just the other way around. About a mass blackout, you know, there's going to make multiple arrests. You know, it turned out to be some BS, but it was a treasure trove, because let's say something like that would happen now, except for they would go after Trump. They would try to remove him from office. How much unrest would that start? So, in a sense, you know, they were talking about all, you know, all the ones we know deserve to get it was going to get it. It didn't happen. It's not going to happen. In that time frame that dude supposedly said, which, you know, I was smart enough not to say that this is going to happen, but I was also pointing out some of the things that were taking place, that it could be a pattern. There could be a potential for it. Always good to play devil's advocate. You know, not all information is bad information, even if the information's wrong, because you can sit there and play war games with it. Yeah, it is, because it's controlled. They don't even follow their own mission statement where anybody can edit and make changes. Now they've got security measures where you can fix it so nobody can edit. And it's just a group of handful of people that control everything on Wikipedia. But they say it's the community. But what did I take from that? Okay, so when I do come across a Wikipedia post that you can't edit, well, I can't do that anymore, but other people can. When you come across a Wikipedia post that you can't edit, that's got tons of different, because they give you different colored keys for what can be done. Take it for what it is with a grain of salt, that it's probably BS. It might have some facts in it, but the rest is popularizing, it's propaganda pushing somebody's agenda. But how many school kids, how many college kids, they're told to use Wikipedia sources. They're allowed to use Wikipedia sources as if it's factual. And everything we talked about tonight, everything I keep coming up with, we can see that, united we must stand. Yes, but how? Because we got people that's taught to believe everything that they read on Wikipedia is true. They're not going to believe a word this channel says because I said that. It's not true. Some of it might be, and some of it's not. Those are the obstacles and hurdles that are almost impossible to overcome. So we go after like-minded people. People that, let's take the risk. Let's at least talk about these things. Maybe somebody else will hear it. They'll mirror it and do the same. Might take effect. Will it make any difference? No. Probably just like protest. It would be just like protest. Does it make any real difference? Nope. Probably won't. But yes, it will. It's still in that philosophy. We're still waking people up. We're showing them. We're making them question things differently. Just like I tell people, I'm not leaving this platform. There's nowhere else to go. I'm not leaving this platform until they kick me off the platform and say we can no longer do this. Because, okay, you have Twitter. Well, we all know how that works. Okay, so now we have Gab. Well, okay, Gab's great in theory. It's still pay to play. They haven't given you freedom. You want to use their streaming stuff, you want to use chat, you got to pay a subscription for it. It's pay to play, so they're still controlling content. They say they're not, but you are. I mean, you collect millions of dollars from people that donate to you to create this platform. I mean, I understand it takes money to grow anything. It takes some kind of currency to get it off the ground and compete. But we also know the truth. They're not going to let you have all that freedom. I've just recently started playing around with Discord. And sometimes, yes. I mean, I've got Discord because of World of Warcraft and gaming. I just haven't got too much into it. I mean, I've got it installed on the computer and tested it out a little bit, but I haven't quite played with it yet. I just haven't had the time. There's other sources. I mean, I've actually seen a couple channels. I don't know how they're doing it yet, which made me want to look into it. They're using it to stream Patreon stuff. Yeah, but in the end, you are very right. Just like here for a little while, I've been able to get away with streaming on Facebook while gaming, playing World of Warcraft, and talking about things. But yet, if I go to KOTR on Facebook and start talking about occult things, they cut my stream. Or I go to some other people's place. They delete my comments. Or I do a video here that a friend asked me to do one about, give it to them, and the messenger, they delete it from the messenger, and they never get the notification. Yeah. I mean, you got to look, what is their biggest tactics? It's always, their number one tactics, find ways to pit us against each other. Oh, he just said he has an occult page on Facebook. He's evil. Do you know what I use it for? Do you know what I talk about when I'm on that page? No. Because you won't go look. You won't go listen. You just want to call me evil. You don't realize you must have missed some of the broadcasts on this channel then. I grew up Baptist. In fact, I was saved, baptized. Everybody has their own path. That is part of my foundation. There's no getting rid of that. Nor would I ever want to. But I also have other knowledges, other teachings. I've had my own experiences. And that's how they play it too. They know the young generation. They haven't had that experience. They haven't experienced life yet. They're still experiencing things. And let's keep it for real. If things keep going the way they are, that's our future, is that young generation. If they keep going with the ideologies that they have, the teachings that they have, and they don't question anything, don't open their minds, we're screwed. Yes, nothing wrong to have faith, but when you start dealing with realizing that all faith has dogma, and you can't strip that dogma away from that faith, they use that dogma to control you through fear. I mean, I'll just say, or be the first to say, there's so many truths in that Bible. So many good morals in that Bible. When you strip away the dogma. Because most people are, well, you said you're a Baptist. Well, I went to a Catholic school, partook in Catholicism, so I went to a Methodist church for a while, evangelist church. I've experienced it. You know what I've seen? The same rhetoric, the same hate. That's what it is. It's hate. Teaching you to hate the other person, other domination, or other person's belief, or hate them because they're homosexual, or whatever. It's the dogma. It's not the religion. It's not the faith. But I'm evil. I'm trying to lead people astray, whatever. I don't care. I got something else to fall back onto, the Constitution, which is black and white. Everyone has a right to express their freedom of speech and believe in the freedom of religion, which means to believe in whatever religion they choose to believe in. And my job is to respect that, to protect that. Like I said, this channel does have some meaning to me. More than probably it would have previous years ago. Years ago, I wouldn't accept my, how my family came about. It was just cool to know that my forefathers signed the Constitution. The more I researched, the more journals I read, the more things, his ideology of what he foresaw, what he wanted. It was interesting, but you got to live life and experience things before you understand some of that stuff. Right. It's like I said, we all know the truth about protest. Peaceful protest, in theory, sounds good. But in reality, it's the violence that comes from it is what usually makes changes. And I don't promote that. I believe we should be able to protest peacefully and make change. But I'm also a realist. I'm an optimist. I'm hopeful. You gotta be. Otherwise, if you have no hope, there's no sense going anywhere or doing anything or saying anything. What's the point? If I don't have some hope, what's the point of trying to plant a seed and maybe it'll take off in other parts of the community? Uh, he's in France, but no, he's originally from the United States. Right. And sometimes they forget their own, what's in their own Bible. You know, like the part where it says you're supposed to pray in silence. But on the same token, let's have some fun. I got 4 viewers. Are we not in church? Are we not? I mean, just saying. That's what it says. Where 2 or 3 gather in my name. I mean, we're talking about him, so they're free. You know, like I said, my opinion on that, it's many faces, many names of God. They are the true, one true God. Whoopty. That's all I need to know. All I need to know is in Scripture, you'll never know God. You can't begin to even fathom. So why try? I'm going to live my life the way I am drawn, follow the path that I believe is the path I'm supposed to be on, and do the things I'm going to do. And one day, we'll all know who was right and wrong. Nothing I can do about that other than have faith and hope I'm right. Yeah, I draw the line there. And that's the other misconception because of the bad apples. I don't know. They love, it's like I said, we're the favorite scapegoats. They don't know us. They don't know. And this is for everybody, should believe this. The most valuable thing we will ever create on this earth is our children. They are the most precious gift, and that is valued above all things. They should never be harmed in any way. Doesn't mean then that doesn't mean don't spank, not to spank them. It means teach them. You know, when they do something wrong, yeah, I believe, you know, you got to, you know, teach them. Whether it's by not sparing the rat or not. No, my dad didn't spare mine. I still turned out bad because I had to experience things or learn. Actually, I don't want to talk about that here on this channel. I'm going to put it this way. There's where I have some discrepancy with certain people. You know, I don't know what people's opinions and theories are about the Watchers, the fallen angels, Nephilim, whatever. But this is something they said. I don't know if they figured it out, didn't realize what they were saying. But they said, and I know this from some of my teachings as well, they said that the fallen angels are the ones that taught science, math, speech, language, writing. I say that. I hear that. I've read that. That makes me think, okay, if that's the case, aren't you using the very same things you're calling all these people evil for? Just saying. Didn't want to mean to get into that, but that's proving a point. Everybody's got their own views and opinions on things. But when you state something like that, and you turn around and call this group evil because they're using language, math, science, well, let me tell you something about science. You know what science is? It's magic. They just gave it a new name and kept doing this very same thing. So if you don't believe me, look at the screen. You're watching this, listening to me. Right. I mean, everybody's got their own path. I can't judge a person's path. I don't want to judge a person's path because who am I to say he's not right? I only know what I can go on, what I've felt, what I've experienced, and I know the path I'm walking is the path I'm supposed to be on. Just like, you know, yes, I know I have duties to my other channel because that is part of my path. But I also have duties to this channel to shed light on the things, how these tools are being used against you, to give you awareness so they don't. No, everybody has their own agenda. Everybody does. We just don't want to admit it. What's my agenda for jumping on board with these guys' idea? To bring awareness. Maybe by speaking out, maybe they'll loosen the censorship a bit. Maybe by planting that seed, other channels will take off, start doing the same thing. So yeah, I have an agenda. It's not about getting followers. I don't care about followers. You know, I don't want your followers, or I'll state that if you come on my channel when we start. Do not subscribe to this channel while we're doing this broadcast. Share it. You know, if you're going to come on here, do a video, say you're coming on here, tell your subscribers don't subscribe to this channel. Hello, Pam. And yes, for those that don't know, since I have a bad habit of never doing it, my name's Drew or Smiley. You choose. Friends call me either or. You know, just like I pointed out, there's a reason why sometimes I ramble on and talk about multiple things. I try to stay on subject, which normally I am on subject. But I've also noticed videos that are longer than an hour and a half tend to get less views, tend to slide under the radar. You know, who's going to sit here and listen to me talk, heaven forbid, for 2 hours, 3 hours? I mean, hello, I've listened to myself. I can't stand the sound of my own voice. It drives me nuts. It irritates me. You know, growing up, I used to do the recording on the voice answering machine because it'd wake me up. You know, that's why I don't edit my videos much. I can't stand listening to myself. I've literally got to meditate before I do it. I mean, if it bothers me, I got a feeling it probably bothers a bunch of other people. I've had somebody point it out. Exactly. People are going to come. They're going to watch who wants to watch it. If they're drawn to it, they'll come. That's how I view subscribers. Those that find it on their own, they were meant to find it. What they take from it, they decide, oh, I want to check out some more. They will. They may just say, it might be, somebody told me this once. Actually, it was an ex. People come to our lives for a reason. Whether it's to convey a message, to teach us something. Sometimes they'll be our friends for life. Sometimes they might be more. Other times, they just come into our lives for a fleeting moment because there was something at that time we needed in our lives. You know what? She was very right. My grandfather told me something similar about watching and observing. There's a message in everything. That's something he taught me to learn. That's why I was awake at such an early age. I mean, I was a teenager, 10, 11 years old. Was I truly awake, fully awake? No, we never are. We're always learning new things, changing our views. When we learn that something we believed in wasn't true, we're always awakening. Just like I say, there's a difference between being awake and open, too. Very few people are truly open. But they might be very awake. You know? You know, it's just like I pointed out with thumbs up, thumbs down. You guys do realize that's psychological warfare, right? They give you this little icon to show you your emotion. Most people get mad when they get thumbs down. And they don't sit and think about it. Well, I mean, other than the bots, we know there's bots. But you can usually tell the difference. But why get mad? You triggered that person. You made that person question, think. You did your job. You know, these emoticons that we see in Flash, that's sigil magic, whether you want to believe it or not. You know, we use it to show emotion. We use it to communicate. You know, and that's where I know when I talk about those things on this channel, because of how it's named, certain groups of people aren't going to like it. I don't care. Because that's information you should know to protect yourself, to understand that this stuff's in your face every day, being used against you. And there's nothing wrong with them, because when you know, you can use them for fun. There's nothing behind them other than what you want them to be. You know, that's where, you know, I have a struggle. There's so much stuff I want to talk about, but I try to cater to what the channel is. At the same time, showing respect to other people, finding my own way to introduce it. Sometimes it gets bluntly introduced, but in a way that they can understand it and see it in their own way. You know, so I mean, I do agree with, you know, we've sat here and bounced ideas off for the last, several of us for the last 3 nights. Well, actually since Friday, because I was in somebody else's chat room. That's where I met a few of you. I'm glad I actually met you. I'm glad I actually, for once, decided to pay attention to chat and chat. Because a lot of times I don't. I just sit, watch, and observe. You learn that way too. Sometimes I sit, watch, listen, and observe chat, see what's being said. That's how I caught when they were having mic issues. Then later I watched somebody else's show and caught they were having the same issues happen when they said certain things. It's okay, fam. You know me. I get to rambling and it goes on. Which, for those that don't know me, I'm not like that. Out of my circle of friends, I'm the quiet one, believe it or not. I'm the one that's always watching, observing, not saying much. But that's a beautiful thing, because I can come on here and share the things I've observed, watched. And some of my friends, that's why they keep me around for, to be honest with you. And I know that. You know, we all have our little gifts. We all have our knowledge and skills. When we come together, start sharing those things, we learn. I mean, and we also, in the hopes of, you know, other people stumble across this later down the road. And it might change the way something they had viewed for years. You know, like I said, all you can do is plant the seed. It's meant for whoever it's meant to for when it comes to knowledge and information. You know, I can't tell a person how to do their channel, because if I did, I'd be imposing my will. And it's not about that. I'd be taking their telling them they can't be free thinkers. You know, I can suggest, hey, maybe you did this a little bit different. You know, suggestions are cool, but in the end, that person's got to be a free thinker. He's got to control his content. No, cigarette. Which is kind of some of the reasons why I don't do cam. Plus, on topics like this, I want the chat to be seen. I want people to see what we're discussing. I want to be able to interact with the chat. Because I know smoking is bad for your health. And I know, it's a respect thing. Although, when I do smoke the pipe, tobacco pipe, because it's what's in it, I have smoked that on live streams. But as far as the cigarettes, no. But I also grew up around my grandfather. He smoked a pipe. But like I said, anybody wants to come on here, I'll let you use this platform to talk about the things you've encountered when it comes to censorship. Or you want to come on here and talk about, throw ideas and theories around. I'm all fine for that too. If it's something you don't want to, because you got a bigger channel, don't want to lose it, cool. I mean, eventually, yeah, I'm going to lose this channel. I know it. Yeah, choose your poison. I mean, if I could smoke something else every day, I'd definitely give up smoking cigarettes. It's a good thing. It's a nasty habit. But it's a habit I choose to keep. And that's the other thing people don't get. A lot of these things, like addictions, 90% of addictions are just pure mental. Okay. But that's going down another rabbit hole that we're not going to go into. Just like I tell people, there's nothing wrong going down the rabbit hole. Just don't get so sucked up into it that you're not questioning everything that you're seeing, reading. Because they do bait the rabbit hole. Just like, okay, let's take a stand. I mean, I haven't played devil's advocate on this one yet. I like the idea of it. Well, maybe it's time to play devil's advocate. Let's take a stand. What if it was somebody came up with that idea to actually force people to start doing it so they would show themselves that they could use to say, this is the reason why we need censorship. Goes back to the video I did, moves and counter moves. Everything can be seen as a move and counter moves. Maybe this was somebody, who knows where they got this idea from. I'm doing it because I'm tired of seeing good channels going down. But I also need to reflect back. Maybe that's what they want. People to come out, start talking about it so they can find other channels that's doing it. I'd never sat back and thought about that. Never played devil's advocate with it yet. And see what they know. Have they figured out loopholes, ways in, way to get around things? And I've been freely open with everything I've come across. What's that magic number where they actually start paying attention to the channel? Because obviously it's not 13 or 9. Videos that don't go viral or get a bunch of views all at one time, they slide under the radar. I've pointed out, the discrepancies on view counts. I've also pointed out sometimes when we say certain phrases and words, where certain glitches happen. Oh, Pam, by the way, I was wrong. Our YouTube chat is monitored. It actually got proven tonight. Yeah, go ahead. Moves and counter moves. And that was what I was trying to convey to the person I was talking to with earlier. You know, maybe it was a joke that these guys did this. It's still, you know, I do agree with you. Reality is that, is this going to make a difference? Probably not. Big emphasis on the probably. But I'm looking at it as, okay, we're going to learn from this no matter what. We're going to plant a seed. Other people are going to start doing it. It's going to bring some awareness. Maybe it'll ease back some of the tensions we're getting. Or maybe it'll just, all right, we need to shut him down now. We'll create another one. It's, you know, it's all moves and counter moves. Go ahead, mirror my channel. And if you want to say, go back, oh, he claimed to be an occultist. Go ahead. I don't care. I've never hit it. I just try not to bring those things over on this channel. But don't forget, I also said I have a Christian upbringing and a Christian foundation. Just make sure when you quote me, you quote everything. Because eventually I will find out. You know? You know, that was the other part. You know, even I realized, as we were talking the last couple nights, in theory, it's a great idea, but half of us can't get along. And as I learned today, talking to the gamer community, gamer streamers for World of Warcraft and other games, they're not on board with this at all. Because they're not being censored. They're still monetizing their stuff. They fear that if we start speaking out against this, that it's going to force censorship upon them. Valid points. You know, except for they're not the ones that are losing their channels. Excuse me. You know, but you do got to play devil's advocate on these things. You've got to weigh every option, every pro, every con. Me, I still think it's a good idea. Good thing. And if not anything, we're making future generations aware of something. Because the old truth is, once it's on the internet, it's always on the internet. Somebody's downloaded this video, put it on their hard drive. Somebody's shared this video on another platform. As I've shown you, I'll share everything on the Minds on a WordPress site. And the view counts don't match the counts here. 511 views on last night's. Would I say 17 here? There's loopholes. We found them. How do we use them? Not everybody that follows us are on the Minds. I've said that from the day one on this channel. I mean, that's why I chose not to monetize this channel. You're not going to control my content, my freedom of speech. But I've also pointed out, like last night, sometimes what you might think is is a censorship, you did actually violate a law. When you show a logo or a trademark of a company, they can actually come back on you. They don't come back on you, they come back on YouTube. like you said, you got to play devil's advocate. I mean, they're not playing devil's advocate, that's for sure, but that's my opinion and views. I only know what they sold me. They sold me when I started creating channels on YouTube, was their mission statement. Their mission statement is still up. Freedom of expression, freedom to share your opinions and views and ideas, create your own business. I'm doing those things. But I've also had the experience writing my own magazine and websites. I know the legalities of using certain images. That's why I created a DV account years ago. I create my own images. Which I got lazy and started letting SDA do the images because she was better at it. But I still create my own images. I've gotten to where now I don't so much screen share when I read stuff. I'll put the links in the descriptions. I mean, just like I've got Enterthe5t4rz Reloaded, RichiefromBoston II. Do I fully support their channels? Or do I fully agree with what they say? No. But they're the ones that first came out with this idea. And I've emailed both of them. Just like I've emailed Be Rich. And a few others. I've only had one person get back with me. And it's none of the ones I named. And I learned some things from him tonight. I'm better at talking than I am typing. Because I want to think too much, or I'm thinking 1,000 things at once. Which is true, I do. I think 1,000 things at once. It's just the way my crazy little mind's wired. So sometimes it's easier to just talk. Just let things flow. Which is why on one of my channels I would do a podcast from time to time called Ramblings of the Chaotic Mind. Just so I could bounce ideas. Yeah, I haven't figured out why you keep getting bounced out of Roku. Like I said, I don't use any of them. I'll ask one of my friends that I know uses that, find out what they've had issues similar. And see, that's the other thing. We start seeing like instances like that. You know, sometimes we never question why it does it. Okay, now I'm going to go question a couple of my friends that actually know have Roku, and see if they have the same instances, or is it because of stuff we're talking about in this chat and on this stream. That's, to me, is the importance of coming together with other creators, inviting them on. You know, it's these little things that we catch that sometimes we just blow off. We start talking about them. Because sometimes when you start pointing things out and bringing things into the light, it exposes, like somebody said, you expose them. I think that was said in somebody else's chat. And you're right, you do expose them. It might make them change or back off for a bit. They're not going to stop their agenda, but you make them think. Like I said, it goes back to, I got to do a part 2 to moves and countermoves. They're just, as you can see, so much has left out. So much could be pointed out. But then I also want to get more deeper, bring in the esoteric side, and show you how that's all in your face every day. I mean, like tonight, so far, my computer hasn't bogged down or nothing. Well, I've changed some of the words I used from last night, not using them tonight. And apparently, maybe tonight the AI is possessed by something else. Who knows? I mean, if you believe that's even possible. Or if you can believe you can manipulate the AI. I mean, what is an AI? runs off frequency, energy, and vibrations. I've actually watched people do experiments like that and can a little bit manipulate. Me? No, I don't feel like even delving into the black mirror that's in front of me. Kind of want to keep that door closed. And that's the important thing. Like Pam, we got to have fun when we're doing stuff like this. We got to find ways to have fun. Can't be doom and gloom all the time because there's too much of it. You know, make fun, have fun, joke, laugh. You know, point out something that's just completely off topic. Why? When you do that, in a sense, you also throw the AI off. You throw the algorithms off. Like I said, I've reached out to Chris. Hopefully he'll get back with me by the end of the week. I don't know what his schedule's like, but the things he can tell you about how this AI works and how the algorithm works is downright scary. I cannot do it any justice. Yes, we got to have fun in everything we do. And we got to take everything with a little bit of grain of salt. Because I'm the first one, I'm human. I don't have all the answers. You know, I haven't lived as long as some other people have. I haven't experienced what some people have experienced. I only got what I've experienced to go off of. I've got my own niches and knowledge. Yeah, actually I do. It's called Create Your Own Alphabet, based on your own numerics. You know, but most people don't realize every alphabet has a numeric value. Create your own alphabet. Give it its own meanings, its own properties. That's a little bit for another channel, but no, you share it. You share it with elsewhere, other platforms. Then you bring it, when you do decide to bring it together over here, like we'll just say we use Discord. We'll go over there and create our own terms and stuff, what they mean. And eventually we'll come over here. When it's said, the people that follow us will know because they've been over there. They know what we've been working on. Tools. Mail it to somebody, yeah. Or whatever community you're in, teach it to that community. A group of people, whatever. There's ways around things. I mean, eventually that idea is probably going to go out the window too. I mean, all we can do is try to stay one step ahead. You know, because, you know, that's why I like coming together with people. Sharing things, talking about things, no matter what the subject is. I mean, I've got well-versed in many, many subjects. I learn new things when we talk, when we share ideas. That's what we all should be striving to do. Tacky Vanilla is actually right. It would be. But it'd be on that platform. So when people that would learn that follow you, that would actually come over here and follow you if you did videos and stuff, and you use certain terms, certain words from that other platform, it wouldn't recognize it. It'd be foreign. It'd be overlooked. In a sense, you're also doing creation. You're creating something which will be completely foreign to an AI. I mean, off-grid sharing is a great idea, but it also goes back to what I said about the NRA. You know, okay, nobody wants gun registry. Nobody wants to register their guns. Nobody wants the government to know I have guns. But yet, what is the post office? What is the mailman? Is that not a government entity protected by the federal government? So therefore, don't you think for one iota that they don't know you own guns? Why? Because you send money to the NRA, you get their newsletters, whatever, every month. Yes, it goes back to the concept of what Sons and Daughters, Sons of Liberties used to do. They used to publish stuff like that in code in their papers. Only the members of the Sons of Liberty knew the code, knew how to decipher what was being published in the papers by their own printing presses. There's ways around everything. Unless drones are hovering. You know, it's just like that. You know, I've got my own opinions on the certain scenarios where we view everything now as a certain event. But let's go back to the drone incidents, where it started, where they wanted to put restrictions, where you had to register your drones. I mean, do you honestly, for real, they did that because they knew how dangerous drones were. Well, look, we watched the truther community for a little short period of time before they really started cracking up and start using drones to film stuff live, do things. Oh no, they don't want that. You know, and as now we've watched with drones, technology's grown to where now they can fly the drones over an area and go back and forth and peel the layers of the earth and reveal history. And of course, some YouTubers showed how you could weaponize them. You know, sometimes some information is not meant to be shared, guys. You actually have a responsibility there. But you know, it's exactly what we're doing here. We're thinking of outside the box now. We're coming up with different ideas of way to do things. Did I miss something? You know, things that we can maybe later down the road find a way to integrate. Yes, our ideas aren't stolen online. That you can't get around that. No, they like to say everything on the internet's intellectual property until it doesn't apply to them, until it's something they don't want you to have, and then it's no longer intellectual property. You know. But hey, go ahead. If I create an alphabet, put it online, which I have my own alphabet, I don't share it. Only with select few. And we learn to find ways to even put it out there. Go ahead. I'll put it out there. Maybe. Will it be exactly right? Maybe I'll just do what I know what people do. Certain sections of it up and leave certain sections of it out. Then a couple months later, put certain sections in something completely entirely different that actually is meant to connect with the other one. Who knows? There's many ways to do things, many ways. We just got to think, keep thinking, thinking outside the box, coming up with ideas. Then, because you always got to test them, create a channel. Start running experiments. I mean, I've done plenty of experiments on this channel. And see how it works. See what it does. Granted, there's some experiments I can't do because I'm not big enough. That's okay. Not meant to be. So what do? I'll come on here and talk about it. Plant that seed. Somebody will pick it up, hear it, and they'll go try it. And I'll watch and observe because, well, I'm going to be drawn when one of my ideas has been used. I'll know. I'll be drawn to it. Or somebody will tell me, hey, you talked about this. This person talked about it. Interesting. Did it work? Well, it's working so far. Huh. Nice to know. It's a tool. This whole thing is a tool. So can we come together, bring people on, other creators on, share ideas? Yes, because we're going to learn. If anything, it might not stop the censorship, but we're going to learn from it. We're going to learn maybe some things we didn't catch, didn't know was going on. And maybe, just maybe, by bringing it to light, it might change something. You know? Who knows? We're creating chaos. Chaos can be crazy. Who knows what can come out of chaos? You know, even though it's a controlled form, but you can only control chaos to a certain point. I haven't even I don't think I've broke 50 on any of my view counts on any of my videos on any channel. I think the most I got maybe 30 or 40. So I do know, and that proves the theory, because I know a particular video that if anybody else talked to it that had a high subscriber count, would get huge views, and they would probably get a community strike for it, because it's not something they want you to hear. Now, saying that, I probably jinxed myself, but it's those little things. We know it works. We know that small channels sometimes slide under, but we also know sometimes that video count just don't work. It's not the right actual count. I'm sorry, you can't justify 511 on last night's stream on the mines to 17 here today on that video from last night. The math don't add up, which I'm fine with that. I'm glad it don't add up, because that tells me I can put stuff on that platform and to get my message out and on another platform. And that's the other part that kills me. While we're talking, the subject's being brought back up, mirroring. Now, I hear people say, yes, please mirror my thing. Then they get mad, jealous actually, when that mirrored video gets more views. They should be happy, because now that message that you were talking about is reaching a whole other audience that you don't have access to. I don't get it when they do that. They say, go ahead, go ahead. Then they get mad. Then they go after the channel. I've seen that happen here, which is another, goes back to, got to play devil's advocate, which is another reason why we're never going to get everybody to come together. So why not just plant a seed and let people do it in their own communities? No. You know, like I said, don't mind throwing theories out there, because what is a theory? It's based on my opinions and views and some of my experiences. Will it work? Theoretically, it might. Probability of it? No. That's what a theory is. But when we know how to manipulate a theory and use it to plant a seed, okay, I just gave that a little bit more probability. I increased the probability of it. Like I said, science is no different from magic. You know, they just changed the name of it to make it say something else. And they teach everybody, basically they give everybody the formula for it without the instruction manual and call it something else. Exactly. You know, and let me tell you, for those that don't know, and some of you I'm pretty sure know, I think it was last year or earlier this year, they started talking about the new Adobe program for voice editing and stuff that could say, I'm having a conversation with you, or I watch your channel, record your channel. All I got to do is clip a few minutes of that video of your voice. Now I can create a video with your voice. That's one of Adobe's new toys and tools that they just gave to everyone. You know, technology, I like technology. But unfortunately, it seems like every time something new comes out or something that has potential, it's always put in the bad apple's hands and given to people without an instruction book or misrepresented in small, minute ways. And me personally, I think that technology, man, that's bad. You know, you can sit here and just clip a few minutes of me talking. Now you can go create a video and use it as if, because it's my voice, it mimics my vocal patterns, and create a video and say, I did it. I mean, we're well past green screens, blue screens, red screens. I mean, as technology advances, In the wrong hands, it's dangerous. It'll get manipulated. It'll get used for the wrong reasons. But in the right hands, it can do some beautiful things. And but what do? You know, because then they see the good things we can do, and it's the same thing we keep back around to. Is, oh no, we can't have that. We can't have them doing this. But yeah, see, and a lot of people don't know that. Well, some of these tools out there, some of these graphic things, you could sit here and break stuff down. I mean, I can't use fireworks on this computer, but on my laptop I can. I don't know why it just won't work on this computer. But man, people don't realize the things you can discover. You know, but as technology evolves, I mean, it becomes more controlled. It becomes more manipulative. I mean, for real. You don't have to go to a scene to do any investigation. A news agency, they can green screen it. You know, just like I heard somebody talk about, I don't know, how all these major networks are kind of all linked because they'll just send one camera guy to film it all, and that one camera guy uploads his feed to all these major news networks. Nobody questions that. Everybody thinks, oh, they got a reporter on the scene. Nope, they just screen their reporter in as if they're there, or blue screen or red screen, whatever you want to call it, and they're not even there. Just one camera guy feeding all the news networks. And then we can get into CGI and all that, but I mean, we live in a different world. As technology advances, unfortunately, it ends up in the wrong hands, the ones that are going to manipulate and use it. You know, then sometimes they don't think about what else can use it. I mean, the possibility is there. I mean, if you believe in angels and demons, well, can it possess it? Can it take it over? You believe in ghosts, stuff like that? I mean, there's a possibility. Or can you manipulate it yourself? I mean, we can hack things. We all know that. You know, there comes a point where that's why it's good to have other people, other channels talking about these things. It opens up your thinking. And you might not believe it, but maybe later down the road, you're walking around, you see something that just don't look right. Because you heard it on this channel that you thought was like, oh, man, no. Ah, that seed was planted because you had knowledge of it. When it happens, you now see it for what it is. People out there that do. All the time. There's people out there that stand up against these things. You know, people we don't even see. I mean, right now, what we're doing, in a sense, we are standing up because we're talking about it. You know, or make a parody out of something. Sometimes I think people forget exactly how much power you actually have on YouTube to create things, spin it in your own way, change it, manipulate it. You know, some people can read between the lines. They'll see it. It's the subliminal aspect comes out then. You know, sometimes I think, why not? They use these tools against us. Why not use it? You know, some people say, well, that's evil. That's good. Well, no, it's not. It's, what was my intention? My intention was to wake somebody up, show them, because if I say it any other way, it could get me censored. So I subvert to put it in that you will actually see it. You might not hear it right then and there, but the image I use or the words I use will trigger when you come across it. Then you'll know, it's like, yeah, I got this from this, but no, he didn't say that. You know? But as the old coin goes, well, that's manipulation. But that's what we deal with every day. That's used every day in front of you. Every day you get in your car, listen to the radio, pass any logo, sign, billboard. That's all there. That's why I was, you know, the other night I was hoping dude was going to get into that sacred geometry. Because it's even there. It's even in nature. It can be found. And they use these things. They use these things every day against us. It's in our face every day. We're bombarded with every day. But if I try to point these things out and show you, it goes back to what I've always been called by certain groups. That I'm willing to, you know, I'm sitting here, I'm willing to overlook it and stand up with you. We definitely don't agree, but that's not the point. We agree on one thing. We have common ground. We don't want the censorship. We want our freedoms. I believe in freedom. I believe people need to be free thinkers. And I respect what you do. I can put my differences aside. Can you? Because I'm respectful enough, I won't bring none of that up. Because I know it offends you. Or triggers you. That's not what I'm there for. We're there to do something that you guys want to do. That we all want. Every last one of us on here. No matter what niche we're in. We all want the same thing. We don't want to be censored. We don't want our channels removed. You know? And then again, if they would actually have just a little bit of open mind, sit there and listen to maybe a little bit of it, somebody's sitting here trying to explain how it's used against them, they might understand it so they can better protect themselves. Then they can find a way to take that knowledge and deliver it to their community in the proper terms where it don't offend nobody. Just saying. That's why, in theory, when the guy I was talking to earlier, he's right. I mean, I said it the other night. In theory, yeah, great. But I know nobody's going to let go of their differences. Let's use that for an example. Why did that come about? Well, what did hemp prevent? It prevents some big corporations at the time from selling cotton. Oh, let's not forget the paper industry that were wanting to have domination over the market, but hemp was free. It was grown everywhere. Oh, we got to crush that in order to market paper, cotton. Some of your answers are right there in history, if you look. Not new games that they're playing. It's the same old games, same old, dare I say it, psyops, propaganda. It's the same old stuff that's been going on for centuries. We just changed the name of it and call it something new. And therefore, no, it's not that. Fuel. You know what the cleanest fuel is that you could probably burn? Oh, that's right, moonshine. Nope, you can't make that. That's illegal. Oh, wait, we call it ethanol now. Like I said, they keep giving us the same stuff, doing the same things. Just call it new things. Then the people that actually see this, that break this stuff down, oh no, that's a no-no. So why not support them? Why not give them, come together with them? I guess that's just me trying to follow in my forefathers' footsteps, standing up for what is right, believing in an ideology that nobody ever believes in anymore. What woke me up? Honestly, I can't remember. I think some of it had to do with church, and I always had a knack for just finding new things and experiencing things. I was always open to new things and to experience. Some of it was people in my life at the time, how they talked, what they believed. Hearing my dad said when we was living in Brazil for 2 years, he said, and this was in the 80s, guys, he said, it's sad that I learned more about what's happening in America on the Brazilian news than the actual news in America reports. That was in the 80s. That stuck with me. Because he was right. I'd call him, talk to my grandfather here, and ask him about what was going on. He's like, I haven't heard about that. He'd go look into it. He's like, yeah, well, how'd you hear about that? I'm like, it's on the news here. He's like, it's not being broadcast on the news here. Shit was happening even in the 80s. And granted, at that time, I was, 6, 7? No, that time I was 8. So when we came back, I was 10. So we was down there for 2 years. Then my grandfather teaching me to observe things, watch at an early age. And, and there's other things I had experienced, like some deja vu stuff, like going to where my grandfather grew up in Waldron, Michigan. Place I'd never been to, but I know it like the back of my hand. I knew where everything was. I knew if I followed this lane all the way back, there'd be a cutoff that I could cut off and go into a grove in the woods. Never been there, but I knew it was there. Little things like that is what woke me up, made me realize. Then allowing myself to experience things. Yeah, it should be. It used to be. It used to be a clover field. And actually, a lot of the backyard used to be the garden. But we have irrigation problems with tile that we can't touch because of certain laws. Or we got to pay so much money to get it done. So it just floods. Right now, we got a pond out back there. So they can't use a huge section and turn it back into a garden. No matter what, we can replace all the tile on our property, but it's the way it runs in, it bursts the tiles every time or separates them. backs everything up. It's a joke. But we can't get the county to do anything. Because we're not allowed to touch the sections that belong to the county. Yeah, I'm a big supporter of the what I call mom and pop stores. We need more mom and pop stores. We need more crafts people creating their own business. Those are the true backbones of our country. You know, especially this time of year. Don't go to Walmart, Wally World and buy. Go to your local crafts stores and buy. Or your local mom and pop stores. You know, some of the best restaurants I've ate at has been the little mom and pop restaurants. Yes, bartering system failure is occurring. I missed that. Sorry about that. Excuse me. You know, and that's how my mom's side of the family in Brazil got their start. They started with a small cooking bread and stuff out of their kitchen. Slowly became a small little bakery, which later became a huge bakery that supported everybody in the town came to serve them. From that, they branched off, invested, created an ice cream parlor, a restaurant. See, I also had that experience. I had the experience of being in another country, seeing how things work, different cultures work. You learn these things. Like I said, I experienced a lot, but I also, a lot of my younger youth, I spent with older people, listening to them, listening to the vets tell the war stories, tell them what they just listen to people that did the protests in the 50s and 60s and 70s. You know, I've always been open-minded. I don't judge anybody by their color, their ethnicity, or anything. There's something to be learned from everything. That's the philosophy of my life. I can't. Because, I don't know, maybe there's something in our system that we can find that works, that we could improve our system with. You know? Instead of keep using the same broken parts, just calling it a different name, why don't we just change something with something that we know somewhat works? Let's take a system that we know works, but is broken. What can we fix in that system to make it actually better? Haha. Right. I mean, honestly, for me, this is my country. I might have dual citizenship and stuff, but this has always been my country. I love it here. I don't like what's going on, you know. And some people might view it from other places, saying, "Well, that's not a good place to be." I just only got what I've experienced. I've experienced Brazil and here, you know. What I've seen and studied in history. This, you know, we still have some freedoms as much as we sometimes say we don't have none. We do. As long as we have people that are believe in it, is willing to stand up for it, we still have hope. And every country does. Which is why this channel is banned in a few countries. Why is that? What message am I speaking that causes this channel to be banned in 6 different countries? Yeah, which is sort of, didn't get a chance to do this year. I was going to get one done making a compost before winter came, and we just got so much rain and stuff, and the cold weather set in before I could get everything done. Yeah, waste politicians. I mean, there's another grand, in theory, in an idea, and what most of our forefathers believe, it was needed, you know, but in a sense, for anybody that cares to venture down that boulevard, it's still a caste system. We haven't changed. We say we no longer live in a caste system, but we do. We still live, in a sense, in a monarchy. We just call it a different name. You know? And some people don't understand their last names. Their last names, in a sense, used to be, people that had last names were nobility. So now we get into politics. We call politicians Republicans, Democrats, Independents. Well, and we put images to them. So we give them crests, much like a family crest. It hasn't changed. We just call it, as history goes, or as we grow, we call it by new names. Still a caste system. I mean, our basic core idea of poor, middle class, rich, which has changed since then. It's no longer, it's called other things. Now you get middle class, upper class. It's still a caste system. It's meant to control. It's meant to subjugate. You know, then we create all these platforms on the internet that's still controlled by a select few. Bigger organizations that control them, buy them out. Still a caste system, in a sense. It's just an intellectual game of caste system. Because now we try to control what can be said. Control people's ideas, their thoughts. You know, we do it here on YouTube with all the various different communities. Really? I didn't know that. Oh, that's a good question. Who's chosen ones? I don't know. It depends on your perspective. You know? To me, you guys coming on here, chatting, sharing ideas, sharing your views, does not make you chosen. To reach out, because you're reaching out to others, sharing your ideas and views. This is just a matter of perspective. You know, some people might call the ones that are in the shadows them. Or if you have chosen candidates, yeah, who chooses them? Definitely here late, not us, because that's obvious. But that goes back, we go back to history. How'd that come about? Well, we can blame that on the Electoral College, where they basically said, oh, we'll give this state this many, this state this many, this state this many. So basically, not everybody's vote is counted. Because in the end, whoever wins the state, all the votes go to said person. So they get the number of votes from that state. I mean, up until this year, I never thought that we'd ever see a true personal election. And more like theorized, I think something went wrong with that thinking and it backfired on them. and they just didn't realize that, hey, but that was another beautiful thing about people coming out talking about voter fraud and stuff. It put such a big spotlight. Ohio? Yeah, that's where I'm from. Northwest corner of Ohio. It put such a big spotlight on the voting fraud that they almost didn't dare when they started actually seeing that how much popularity Trump actually had. I think it was the first time we actually may have had a real free election. But that's my opinions, theories, and views. They lost the ability to manipulate it. Southwest corner? Don't go down that way much. When I go to North Carolina, I go east. No, yeah. I go up towards Cleveland, cut across, then shoot down from West Virginia when I go to North Carolina. I go west. That's the word I'm looking for. No, I go east. West is towards Indiana. Although there is supposedly a quicker route that you can cut across and head south. I haven't found it yet. You know, there's just so many things that we can do to make change. But the idea change, does change really ever happen? Sometimes it does. Election idea, and most of us, our opinions, we probably would think most of the time the elections are rigged, staged. So maybe the truther community actually made a change by pointing these things out. Maybe the people that break down these events that we don't know if they're real or not, maybe they make a difference. And which gives you hope that maybe if we could find a way to get communities to come together, whether it's just small communities at a time, I'll take that. Plant the seeds, other people will see it, and they want to do the same thing. Maybe change can happen. Will it? I don't know. You know, that's the optimist in me. That's me, you know, having a little hope that people can get past ideologies, get past differences, you know. Because in the end, I do believe this. People do want change. I wish the snow would hurry up and get here. At least when it's snowing, it's not below zero. Or it's not up and down like it's been. 20s, teens, one day, 40s, 50s the next. You know, so, you know, part of me does believe some change can happen. It's not going to happen overnight. And are we fighting a lost cause? Well, maybe. Maybe we're just touching the tip of the iceberg. Maybe new ideas will come out of this. Maybe, here's one wild theory for you. Maybe somebody might listen to one of these streams, hear what we're talking about. He might be one of the good guys for once that has all the money. Because, you know, we never have money. The ones we consider all the good guys. We just don't have money. And the ones that want to make a difference, they never get the money. But maybe, for once, maybe this little seed will reach one of them, and they might 10 years from now create a corporation, much like Google, and give people that freedom of that platform? Likely. Probably not. But hey. Oh, I agree on that one, Tacky Vanilla. I mean, this is my favorite time of the year. When there's snow. Always has been. I don't know why. But, you know, I guess I covered a lot tonight. And, you know, we come up with some ideas. We come up with some new theories, new possibilities. In the end, do we have a solution? No. We got many new ideas, though. We planted a few seeds along the way. I got some good feedback. There may be things I should be looking into about some of the subscribers I subscribe to, and truthfully, proof's in the pudding too, because some of them that claim they want to do these things, if they don't message back, obviously they showed their true colors, so it works either way. Is it going to stop me from following a couple of them? No, because I kind of like some of the stuff they talk about. It's not something a bunch of people, but when I find a channel that does, hey, you know, I'm whimsical like that. Does it mean you guys follow everybody else? Hell no. I mean, we're different. We got our own likes and dislikes. And if more people could view things that way, I think we could take a stand as a whole. Because in the end, just like I told a couple of the gamers, eventually, when they start weeding the rest of us off, you're next. Who do you think they're coming after next? It's all fun and games, but you best believe you're in the crosshairs too. So yes, we have a reason to unite, because they're coming for every last one of us. And eventually, like I said, I see the direction YouTube's going. They're trying. They're pushing it. Right now, they're not having much success, but eventually, they're going to go to YouTube TV or whatever it's called, and they'll want $35 a month for you to join in. They might want more if you want to be a creator and create your own stuff. I mean, ouch. That's cold. You know, speaking about that funny event thing that you mentioned, Pam, who's to say that this little ploy here wasn't just to get people with bigger channels to bite, so they could lose their channel? Devil's advocate. You know, I don't want to believe that. I don't feel that that's what it was about, but eventually it's going to happen because some channel's going to see it. That might be a bot or a creator that belongs to the company. You know, those are the things that we have to look out for. You know, there's always wolves in sheep's clothing. Everybody has an agenda. Me, just want to enjoy some good chat, throw ideas around, good conversation, learn from you guys. Hopefully you'll learn from me. And if we can make a little difference, even better. Because in the end, it is about protecting each other. And people forget that. You know, because it goes back to what I was saying with the gamers community. If I don't support this person or back this person, eventually it's going to be me. Then the next person on the lower on the totem pole. And eventually it'll be everything. So yes, we got to be a little monkey wrench. No. No, I believe in the adage. That one little adage. The best way to hurt somebody is with the truth. You know? Because, you know, the truth does hurt. I know. I've been on the receiving end a bunch of times in my life. Yeah, it does hurt when you get that self-realization. Damn, I was wrong. It's the worst feeling in the world. But you learned something. You freed yourself. So there's a positive side to it after you get over the initial ego buster or reality check or whatever you want to call it. And that's one of our strongest tools. You know, sometimes we can see through it. We can see the truth. That's why I have respect for those that tear things apart. This event really happened the way they said it did? I mean, do I always agree with that? Because no, because I think sometimes, and then it goes back to what I said, when you start, like numbers and stuff, you'll start seeing it everywhere. Everything becomes that when it actually isn't. Because you can, you know, it's just the way things happen. You know. But I think I have rambled on for a longer period of time than most people are going to care to listen to. How long have I been streaming? Yeah, 3 hours, yeah. I've been rambling on for a while. Unless you guys want me to keep going. You're the audience. I'll leave that up to you guys. Because I'm sure I can ramble on for a while. I've been known to occasionally do 8-hour streams. Yeah, I figure people are getting a little bit tired. And plus, as I've also stated, there is such a thing as information overload. Too much. So, I think we've covered a lot, and I've learned a few things, thanks to things you guys pointed out. I'll definitely be interested to go back and see where some of these ideas pop up elsewhere. So you guys all have a wonderful night. Some of you it's morning, I know. And thank you for sticking around as long as you did, because I know being overseas and stuff that oh guys, before we go, I'm going to schedule these streams. Sometimes if somebody reaches out before I go live, I might be a little late. And sometimes I might actually go on before if somebody wants to come on. Because I said I'd work around people's time zones. Like I said, we'll see. But I'll definitely, like I said, I'm going to do these streams all week. And maybe in one of these streams I'll switch the topic up a bit. But I'll catch you guys tomorrow. I hope you guys enjoyed. And you guys have a wonderful week. Night, everyone.